Tardes, right? My name's Alan Blizzard. I am here to present to you today about Argentina. Okay, so, ¿dónde está la República de Argentina? Anybody know?
South America.
Okay, awesome.
Oh.
All right. Now, where in South America do you think it is?
At the bottom.
Okay.
That was in the middle.
All right. Are you sure?
Yeah.
You want to check it?
Yeah, it's in the bottom.
Look at the map.
Okay. So is it on the left side or the right side?
Right.
Right. Perfectamente. It is right here on the right side, on the east side of the Andes Mountains, right next to Chile. It's bordered with Brazil, Paraguay, Uruguay, and Bolivia. And it's actually funny, you did a lot better at identifying where Argentina is on a map than college students do. Okay, so ¿cómo es Argentina? What do you think the climate is in Argentina? Like, hot. Okay? Hot and tropical, like, are we thinking like rainforest or? Rainforest. Anybody else? Any ideas? No? Okay, so hot maybe, right? South America. Everything's hot in South America, right? Well, it's actually not. Argentina is about the same climate range that the United States is. So it has everything from like Alaska, has a polar region. This is actually Puerto Moreno, Perito Moreno, excuse me, which is a large glacier that is found down near Ushuaia, which is now near the tip of Argentina and South America. Argentina also owns the Horn of Antarctica. So, you know, I guess you see Antarctica on the bottom of the map, the little horn that comes up, that's Argentina as well. So it has a very cold climate towards the south. Because in the southern hemisphere, you know, it's opposite. Here you can see the tropics that you're talking about. At the north part of the country, this is Iguazu Falls, or Las Cataratas de Iguazu, and it shares the border with Brazil. So Brazil actually shares these waterfalls. But that does have that hot tropical climate, and that's in the northern part of the region. So basically the way the climate goes in the U.S., you flip that, and that's the way it is in Argentina. Next one. And this is an example of the deserts that they have in Jujuy. You might have seen salt flat pictures before where people can like look like they're stepping on their friends or like, you know, have the cool perspective pictures. Well, that's in Argentina. These are salt flats where they actually mine common table salt. Next one. And this is an example of kind of Patagonia. So everybody's heard of the clothing brand Patagonia before. Well, Argentina owns that actual place. It's a very lush environment, very much like the Rocky Mountains in the United States. And then they have the alpacas, which are kind of look like llamas, except for a little bit smaller. So that's kind of a diverse middle range climate. And next one. And this is the capital city, Buenos Aires. This is where I did my study abroad last semester. And it's one of the largest cities in the world, has about 14 million people in it, and it's considered one of the hubs of South America. So it's often characterized as like the Paris of South America because it's a very European city. Okay, so a little bit about what I did while I was down there. I was a student at La Universidad de Palermo, which was a university in the heart of Buenos Aires. So I was going to school, I was living right in the heart of the city. These are a couple shots of the schools, of the different buildings. So unlike maybe UT here, the campus buildings are spread out throughout the city. So you're walking by, you know, restaurants and shopping centers on your way to class. So it's very cool. I would take the bus to class every day. They called them colectivos instead of did you guys learn the word for bus yet? No?
Autobus.
Autobus, yeah. That's what they use in Mexico. But in Argentina, they just call them colectivos because it's, I guess you're collectively riding the bus together or something. But I went to the La Sede, which is the location for the College of Economic Sciences. So that's a picture of the building that I went to. And I studied logistics, finance, and business and commerce, all in Spanish. So imagine your Spanish class now, but on finance. And that's what I had to deal with. So it was an interesting experience, and I definitely learned a lot. This was where I lived. So I lived with a host family which was actually just one lady. She's about 70 years old, really sweet lady. And we lived in the neighborhood of Recoleta, which is one of the more older, upper scales neighborhoods towards the downtown area. This was our living room, and this was the view out the balcony. Next one. And this was my room, where I had my American flag, and then my Argentinian flag, and all the stuff I collected. This is where we had breakfast and dinner every day. She cooked for us twice a day. It was really nice. I did not have to cook for myself, and nor can I, so it was a little bit of an issue if I had to cook for myself in a foreign country. But and this was our elevator. So instead of like walking up the stairs, we had a little it was about 3 people deep elevator with the old cage door style that we would ride up to the apartment. And so this was me with my senora. Her name was Virginia, and those are my parents when they came to visit. So I actually was fortunate enough to have my parents fly all the way out to Argentina to visit me while I was abroad. These are some examples of what is eaten in Argentina. So down here on the left, you have what is called milanesa, which is literally exactly like chicken fried steak. It is awesome because the steak in Argentina is what they're known for. So very, very delicious. It's fried, it's beef. And then this was actually milanesa napolitana, which is covered with cheese and tomatoes. So, and it comes with a side of fries. Up here is an example of an asado, which is basically the Argentinian version of a barbecue. So they're very social people in the fact that they love to get together for their asados. And they just literally have an open grill with charcoal underneath, brick kind of encircling it, and they just literally slab out the meat and cook it right there. They don't really do sauces there. They just do it with a little bit of salt and pepper. This is actually my friend Jose Carlos, and he was putting, he's from the Dominican Republic, so he's putting a little bit of Dominican sauces on that, which was not the typical Argentine style. Okay, over here you have the empanadas, which is probably the thing that they're known for the most. So has anybody ever gotten the caramel apple empanada at Taco Bell before? Yeah. Yeah? Okay, that thing is awesome, isn't it? Well, these are all filled with beef. So beef, chicken, ham and cheese. They have a ton of different flavors. They actually have some restaurants that's all they'll serve. So you can have them as a snack in the middle of the day, or you can have 4 or 5 as a meal. But they're fried, and they're really, really good. And they come in all different types. Okay, so this is the culture of yerba mate. This is something that I didn't get to in the other class, but this is a traditional Argentine way of basically drinking tea. So it comes from this tree, which is, I don't know what the tree is actually called, but I'm guessing, I'm just going to call it the yerba mate tree. And this is what it looks like. So it's green in color, it looks like tea kind of, and you put it in the mate cups, which I actually brought some to show y'all. So I'll pass them around. And you drink it with a bombilla, which is just a straw. So they heat up the water and they put it in the thermos, and then they'll go to the park or something like that. And they'll sit around in a circle and you'll tell stories and catch up with your friends. So it's a very social activity. And this is the yerba at the store. It's $50. Well, 50 pesos. And the exchange rate in Argentina is about 4 pesos to the dollar. So this was only about $10. And their bag's about this big. So one bag could last you a month, depending on how often that you take. How come it's like a dollar sign? Because even though it's pesos, they still use the dollar sign. So yeah, it is a little bit confusing, but it'll usually say pesos at the bottom or something like that. This was supposed to be a video of Las Ferias, which is basically like an arts and crafts fair, and they do them all throughout the city. It's really cool. And they have basically like vendor booths. That's where I bought my mate cups. And I actually bought these at one of the ferias. They are, can anybody guess what these are actually?
Safety things.
Yeah, but do you know what the material is?
Wood. Shark teeth.
Shark teeth.
Shark teeth. Any other guesses? They're clean, I promise. They're goat toenails.
Oh.
So something that's huge in all of Latin America is sports, and chiefly soccer. So who's this? Does anybody know? Messi, Lionel Messi, exactly. Lionel Messi is kind of like the face of Argentine soccer. He's very well known throughout the world. Everybody in Argentina is crazy about Lionel Messi. So, and then these are the two, I guess, the two biggest club teams within Argentina, which is Boca Juniors and River Plate. Now, it's a huge debate on which team has more fans, which team is better. The Boca Juniors is in the A, like the A League, and then River Plate has just recently been descended down into the B division, which is a big controversy. So when they descended into the second division, there was riots in the streets, and people take their football very, very seriously there. So I remember being at somebody's house, and there was my friend, and he was talking to a very pretty girl, and she was like, "Well, I'm a Boca Juniors fan," and he was like, see ya, like not gonna happen. I'm for River Plate. So that is how serious. Like even a pretty girl could not make a River Plate fan change their minds. Okay, so this is a couple more shots of the city. Argentina is a very modern city, but definitely has that European French style feel to it, which I guess a lot of people don't think of, because the population has a lot of French, a lot of Italian, and a lot of German. So the people actually are very light-skinned. They're not dark-skinned like people from Central America. It's definitely, like, I was surprised because I thought I would stand out a lot, and I actually did. I actually looked just like anybody else down there. So this was one of the main parks. This is the statue of General San Martin, and he was one of the liberators of Argentina when they fought for their independence. And then this is actually a shot of one of the parks. So they have like these awesome palm trees in the middle of the city. And this is actually during El Día del Estudiante. So one thing about Argentina and Latin America in general is that they love holidays. They love holidays for whatever reason. So this was the day of the student, so everybody went to the park. And this is the El Cementerio de Recoleta, which is a large cemetery. So has anybody heard of like the above ground cemeteries in like New Orleans? Yes, yeah. Maybe? Okay. Well, this is kind of the same concept, except for it's about 3 city blocks wide. And they're all these above ground cemeteries. It's actually a tourist attraction. It's one of the biggest of this type of cemetery. And it's famous mostly because of who's in it. So it's a lot of Argentine nobility, former presidents, war heroes. And these are just some more shots of the city. This was a library. It looked like a big tree. I think their concept was that was like a tree of knowledge for them. And then this was another statue. They love statues with guys riding horses on it. It's a very popular statue in Argentina. And then this was the more modern social district called Puerto Madero, which used to be the port of Buenos Aires, but then they moved the port to the south because of containers and large ships. And this is actually the last photo. This is their Casa Rosada, which is their president's headquarters. Not where their president lives, but where the head of the government is. And it's the same thing as the White House, except for it's pink. So, and I'm not really sure the story on why it's pink. But, yeah. So, do you guys have any questions?
Is there music, anything like American music?
Well, the music in Argentina, the popular style is called cumbia down there. And it's a mix of kind of reggaeton, which is like kind of Caribbean style music, and more of the classical Argentine music. So it is a little bit different. They do play a lot of American music in the clubs. Not very much rap music. They're not a huge fan of rap, but any pop songs, like all the pop songs that came out about a year ago, were being played down there. The police in general is just very, very calm, very chill. I was lighting fireworks off at 3 o'clock in the morning for my Despedido, which was my going away party with my Colombian friends. And the police just kind of walked up and they were like, hey, you should probably stop doing that. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. We're like, okay, we'll go back. And they were like, all right, have a good night. Like, that was it. That's another common misconception, is that everybody in Latin America likes spicy food, because Argentines do not. They do not like spicy foods. But then you go across the Andes Mountains to Chile, and they love spicy food. Now that I'm applying for jobs right now, I'm able to say I am fluent in Spanish. So that makes me more attractive to employers. It makes you understand the world a lot better. You can understand people's point of view, their humor, the way they live through their languages. I appreciate y'all's time. I hope that I've inspired you to continue with Spanish, and hopefully visit Argentina. It's a beautiful country. I love it. I'll probably be living down there, so maybe just, hit me up on the Facebook and I can show you around the city. So,
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thanks for your time.